You don't have a money problem. You have a pattern around what it feels like to receive money and keep it. And for a lot of people, that pattern is rooted in shame, not logic, not strategy, shame. Because you could know how to make money and still undercharge, avoid asking for more, feel uncomfortable receiving or losing it just as quickly as it comes in. And that's not a strategy issue. That's an energetic pattern issue. If we haven't met before, hi, I'm Cherry. I'm a spiritual life coach, numerologist, and energy alchemist. And the work I do is about helping you understand the patterns that you're holding so you can actually shift them at the level they exist. So you can actually shift them at the level they exist, not just mentally, but in your body. In this video, we're going to go into money shame, scarcity loops, and how to start clearing the patterns that are keeping you stuck, because you don't receive more until you feel safe to hold more. Before we go any deeper, if this is something you've been struggling with, make sure you hit subscribe and tap the notification bell, because this space is where you don't just learn, you actually shift. So take a breath with me, because we're going to go a little deeper here. So before we try to change anything, we need to see what's actually there, because money shame doesn't always look obvious. It doesn't always sound like I feel ashamed of money. It shows up in quieter ways, ways that feel normal but keep you stuck. So I want you to listen to this and notice what lands. You might experience money shame as feeling uncomfortable asking for more, even when you know your work has value, lowering your prices because you're worried people won't say yes, over delivering to make sure people feel like they've got enough, feeling guilty when money comes in like you're having to justify it or earn it harder, avoiding looking at your finances because it brings up stress or discomfort, feeling like you have to work harder than anyone else just to deserve what you receive, struggling to keep money even when you're able to make it. And here's the key thing I want you to understand. These aren't random habits. They're patterns. Patterns that are trying to keep you safe, accepted, and not too much. Because at some point, money becomes tied to your worth, your identity, and how you're perceived. So now instead of money being neutral, it feels loaded. It feels like pressure, responsibility, judgment, and your system responds accordingly. It either holds back or overcompensates or avoids completely, not because you don't want more, but because part of you doesn't feel fully safe with it. And this is important because you can't fix a pattern if you don't recognize it. So if you've been sitting here thinking, this is me, good, not because it means something wrong, but because now you can actually work with it. So the next question is, where did this come from? Because you weren't born feeling like this about money. So let's talk about where this actually came from, because you weren't born feeling like this about money. You weren't born feeling guilty for receiving, feeling uncomfortable, asking for more, or believing you had to struggle to deserve it. You learned it through what you saw, what you heard, and what you experienced growing up. Maybe you heard things like, money doesn't grow on trees. You have to work hard for every penny. Don't be greedy. Be grateful for what you get. And at that time, that made sense. But your system didn't just hear those words. It internalized them. So now instead of money being something neutral, it's tied to effort, guilt, pressure, and worth. And this doesn't just come from family. It comes from society, past experiences, moments where you were judged or criticized. Maybe you asked for something and were shut down, were told you were too much, saw people around you struggle with money, and your system made a decision. It's safer to not want too much. It's safer to not ask for too much. It's safer to not stand out. So now, even as an adult, you're still operating from those patterns, not consciously, but automatically. And this is why logic doesn't fix it, because you can know I deserve more and still feel uncomfortable receiving it, guilty asking for it, or hesitant to hold it, because your body is still responding to old information, not your current reality. So this isn't about something being wrong with you. It's about something being outdated in you. And the moment you see that, you stop making it mean something about your worth and start seeing it as something you can actually shift shift, because this isn't just mental, it's energetic. And this is where Energy Body 7 becomes really important. So let's bring this into Energy Body 7, your aura self, because your aura isn't just about presence, it's your receiving field. It determines what you allow in, what you feel safe holding, and what stays with you. And this is where scarcity shows up very clearly, because when you feel guilt around money, discomfort receiving, pressure to earn it harder, your system contracts, your aura pulls in. And when your aura contracts, your ability to receive reduces. Not because money isn't available, but because your system isn't open to holding it. So this creates a pattern. You receive, you feel uncomfortable. You either undercharge next time, overgive to compensate, or lose the money quickly, and then it reinforces. See, I can't hold this. But that's not true. That's a loop of contraction, because your system is trying to protect you from something it believes is unsafe. And that something is being judged, being seen differently, or feeling responsible at a higher level. So instead of expanding, you pull back, and your reality reflects that. Not because you don't deserve more, but because you don't yet feel safe holding more. And this is the part people skip. They focus on making more money, learning new strategies, pushing harder, but they don't look at, can I actually hold what I'm asking for? Because if the answer is no, you will always return to what feels familiar, even if you briefly move beyond it. So the work here is not just about receiving more, it's about expanding your capacity to hold more without contracting. That's what changes everything. So let's actually start shifting that, because awareness is one thing, but this needs to be felt in your body. All right, I don't want you to just listen to this part. I want you to experience it. So if you can, just sit a little more upright, feet on the ground, hands relaxed. Take a breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Again, slow inhale and a longer exhale. Now bring your awareness to your body, not your thoughts, your body. And I want you to imagine this for a moment. Imagine receiving more money than you're used to. Not in a vague way, in a real way. Money coming in easily. People saying yes to your work. Your income increasing. Just sit with that for a moment. Now notice what happens in your body. Not what you think about, what you actually feel. You might notice tension in your chest, a tightness in your stomach, a sense of pressure, or even a subtle discomfort. That's the activation. That's the part of your system that doesn't feel fully safe with more yet. And normally, this is where you'll dismiss it, override it, or pull away from the feeling. But this time, we're going to stay with it. So take another slow breath in and a longer breath out. And instead of trying to get rid of that feeling, just soften around it. Let it be there. You can even say quietly to yourself, it's safe for me to receive more. It's safe for me to hold more. And just breathe. Let your body realize nothing bad is actually happening. You're not being judged. You're not doing anything wrong. You're just expanding. Stay here for a moment, because this is how you change your capacity, not by forcing yourself to earn more, but by teaching your system we can have more and we're safe. And the more you do this practice, the less your system contracts, the more it allows, the more it holds. Now slowly bring your awareness back and just notice what shifted, because this is the work most people skip, and it's the work that changes everything. So now that you've felt that, this is where we actually start to change the pattern, because clearing the emotion is one part. But if your identity stays the same, your behavior will go straight back to what's familiar. So this is the shift you need to make. You are no longer someone who feels guilty receiving, undercharges to feel safe, or avoids money because it feels uncomfortable. You are becoming someone who allows money in, holds it without pressure, and sees it as something neutral, not something that defines your worth. Because money is not proof of your value, a measure of your worth, or something you have to justify. It's simply a resource, a tool, and a form of exchange. And the more neutral it becomes, not do I deserve this, but can I hold this without shrinking? Not will people pay this, but I am available for this level. Not what if this is too much, but what version of me lives at this level? And then you start acting from that version, even if it feels new, even if it feels slightly uncomfortable, because that's the identity shifts. Not by waiting to feel different, but by acting as someone who already is. And the more you do that, the more your system adapts, the more your capacity expands, the more money stops feeling like something you need to control and starts feeling like something you can hold with ease. And this is where we close this out, because now it comes down to one thing. So take a breath for a moment, because this isn't about chasing more money. It's about becoming someone who can hold more, without contracting. Because right now, money isn't the problem. Your relationship with it is. And the moment you start to release the shame, expand your capacity, and stop making it mean something about you, everything starts to shift. What you receive, what you keep, and what you allow. All of it. Now, if you're watching this and thinking, I can feel where I'm blocking myself, but I don't know how to really shift this properly, that's exactly what we work through inside my Numerology Roadmap breakthrough session, where we go into your patterns, your relationship with money, and how to align your identity with the level you want to hold. So if you're ready to stop repeating the same cycles and actually change your relationship with money, go ahead and book your session today. It's a free 30-minute session, and the link is in the description box below. And if this has landed for you, hit subscribe, like this video, and drop a heart or fire emoji in the comments and let me know what part of this video landed for you the most. Because this version of you, she doesn't feel guilty receiving anymore. She holds more. And if you haven't grabbed your Numerology Quick Guide freebie, it's down in the description box below. Know what your numbers say about you, what energy you're working with. It will help greatly in the free session so we can get right to the core of it straight away. Okay, see you in the next video. Bye for now.